Time is 6 p.m. I would like to officially call our legislative session to order. Mr. Parker, could you please call the roll?
Ms. Daniels. Ms. Davis.
Present.
Ms. Green.
Present.
Mr. Jones.
Here.
Ms. Rawls. Mr. Rodriguez.
Present.
Ms. Bowers.
Present. Please note that Councilwoman Rawls is excused for tonight's meeting. The invocation will be led by Councilwoman Davis.
Thank you, President Bowers. Can we have a moment of quiet to reflect on the loss for the families of the Allen family and the Jackson family? Let's just hold that moment, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Davis. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Vice President Green.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Vice President Green. For communications this evening, we are joined by Mr. Jakari Lomax, a very talented athlete. We are going to recognize some of his athletic accomplishments. Jakari, I have a proclamation, if you don't mind indulging me for a few minutes as I share about some of the things that you've done. City of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Office of City Council and Office of City Clerk. Proclamation. Whereas the City of Harrisburg applauds Harrisburg native Jakari Lomax on a decorated track and field career. Jakari competed in the triple jump as one of 24 athletes during the 2024 Olympic trials held at Hayward Field in Eugene, Oregon on Friday, June 28, 2024. And whereas Jakari was educated in the Harrisburg School District, he graduated from Harrisburg High School SciTech campus in 2019. And whereas Jakari is a 2018 PIAA state champion in the triple jump, his high school personal best was a 14.83 meter triple jump. And whereas Jakari is a scholar athlete, he earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Information Technology from Youngstown State University. And whereas Jakari is one of the most decorated athletes in Youngstown State University track and field history. He is the first Penguin in history to win the triple jump as a freshman in 2020 with a mark of 14.88 meters. He broke the triple jump school record with a mark of 15.26 meters at the Youngstown State University Icebreaker. He is the fourth athlete in school history to earn qualifying status at the U.S. Olympic trials. And whereas Jakari won 11 conference championships, 4 Horizon League outdoor championships, 5 Horizon League indoor triple jump championships, and 2 long jump championships. Now, therefore, be it hereby proclaimed that Harrisburg City Council commends Jakari Lomax on his dedication to his sport and competing at the highest level of national competition. And be it further proclaimed that Harrisburg City Council wishes to extend best wishes and continued success in all your future endeavors. Signed, Michael J. Parker, City Clerk. Signed and attested in the City of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, City Clerk, Michael J. Parker, Danielle L. Bowers, Harrisburg City Council. Congratulations. Know that we were so excited. We were cheering you on from the city. The city was definitely behind you, and we're supportive of all of your future endeavors, but we wanted to take a moment to acknowledge you and recognize your talent. So if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to get a photo of us, if that's okay. Thank you. We will now move to courtesy of the floor. Just a few housekeeping notes before we begin. Please state your name and your address for the meeting record. If you don't feel comfortable sharing your address, please share the vicinity in which you live within the city. You will have 4 minutes to share your comments. Mr. Parker will serve as our timekeeper, and I will begin to my right. Is there anyone that would like to offer public comment? Okay.
Hi, my name's Keith Bentz, and I live at 1820 Holly Street. I have kind of like 2 questions. One, the officer that's on duty at the Giant on Klein Village, is he actually on duty, or is he there in some other capacity? And the second question, or if you want to go right to,
You just do you got a badge number and all that?
no, it's a particular officer, and on occasion there's another one. They show up there and they're in full dress uniform. I'm assuming that they're there as part of the police force, but they're inside, kind of like.
So what I can do, Mr. Benz, is and inquire about that and get back
Sure.
to you. Mr. Grover.
Yeah, our officers have the right to be detailed when it's not their regular working hours.
Okay,
People-
because I wasn't sure whether it was his official capacity
Yeah,
to be there.
But it's as a law enforcement officer. But what happens is just like when there's a group of officers downtown on Thursday and Friday, Saturday nights, they're on a detail. We have officers over at the hospital, they're on a detail. So that's what that is.
Okay, I know I only have 4 minutes. The second question is the community service aides' duty, or is it their duty to be policing the fire lane at that same Klein Village site?
Far as parking, and you're coming with it today, right? Far as the fire lane, the people that's not supposed to be parked there,
Absolutely.
they do have the ability to ticket, and so do the regular police officers. And I don't know if that will we be able to do that during the detail.
Okay, the reason why I bring all this up is I was a witness to some extremely upsetting situation this afternoon, around 11:30. A woman with all her kids in the car was basically descended upon by about 5 police officers. I don't know the full story since I wasn't there at the very beginning of it and so forth, but my arrival had all 3 of the community service aides there prior to her even parking in the fire lane. And as I was leaving, and I wasn't able to leave because of all the police officers and their vehicles parked at the entrance and egress, the entrance and exit of right there by the McDonald's and so forth. So it's a shame that if we are trying to get our youth and other people to de-escalate and so forth from the tensions that are going on in the city right now, that you have to have that many officers when you have someone who could walk up from the Giant and not have 5 police cars descend on a family. So.
Thank you. If you'd like to stay and speak with Councilman Jones a little more on the issue following the meeting.
Surely.
that would
Thank
be
you.
great. Thank you. Is there anyone else to my right that would like to offer public comment?
All right, hello. My name is Michael Bach. I live at 423 Walnut Street in the Old City Hall Apartments. I moved here actually last month and for my first job out of college. So I'm trying to do something a little different in terms of my career. I work at a bank right now, but I also have done a lot of community service for the region that I used to come from. I'm a little shy speaking up front, so that's why I'm shaking a little bit. I come from Charlotte, North Carolina, and there I participated in a lot of community service organizations, most notably honor societies within my university. I volunteered in the Buy the Tax organization, which helped do tax preparation for those with disabilities, senior residencies within the area, minority speaking residents. And what I'm trying to do up here is trying to get myself more directly involved with my community again. That's kind of like a lot of that I do. It's not just helping my job, but helping other people in my community. I know I'm still particularly new, but if you guys have any recommendations of where to best put my skill sets to use, I have an extensive background in the Air Force. I'm an Eagle Scout, graduated in finance. I'm definitely really good at accounting, so if you guys know where I can be best of use for the community, let me know. If not, it's totally fine. I love coming to these meetings just to hear what's going on in the community, see where I can help potentially. And then lastly, I also want to give appreciation to Councilman Lamont Jones for your work in breaking the chains for at-risk youth. There was a lot that I did in my community for those types of people in my community, especially in my high school and Hopewell High School. There's a lot of issues with that school. And so I joined student government to try to help get the students more involved in some of the policies within the schools. So I really appreciate the work that you do there. That's really it.
Thank you. Do you have a business card?
I do not. I have a LinkedIn if you want it.
Well, I can just give you mine, and you can reach out to me, and I can help you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anyone else to my right that would like to offer public comment?
What do I say first?
Your name.
Oh, my name is Toby. I'm a homeless person. I'm not really staying near the PennDOT place anymore, but I am around Harrisburg. I just wanted to say that on Saturday, I set up a tent near the riverfront, and within around three to 4 hours, 6 to 7 police officers basically came over there and started harassing me and told me to take my tent down. I'm just wondering, I guess my biggest question is, is that really what we want our like law enforcement to be doing? Like that's a lot of officers to go harass. Either I guess they thought there was more than one person there, but I was only one person. And I just feel like they could be doing anything else. Like, I'm just wondering if that's what we want them to be doing with public tax dollars and just in general. And that's my question.
Thank you, Toby. If you'd like to speak to Councilman Jones further as well following the meeting,
Can anybody answer that question here?
Yeah, I can answer it. No, we don't want our tax dollars spent like that. But again, we will definitely have a conversation and see. Like you said, it could have been they thinking it was more people. However it is, no, we don't want to see our citizens harassed by anyone, let alone a police officer, or tax dollars being spent in that manner.
It was it was like 6 to 7 of them.
Yes, and I'm agreeing with you that we don't want to see our tax dollars spent in that manner. But and for future reference, if something like that happens, and you feel intimidated or something like that, be sure, and this is for anyone in the public, be sure to get a badge number and a name, so we can know who to directly to address with those concerns.
Yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't do that because I was pretty shaken up at the time. And the reason I had to set up a tent on the riverfront or near it is because when I was at the encampment, I think this was like maybe 1 to 2 weeks ago or something, I called the non-emergency hotline hoping to report a crime, not to have any officers come out or anything like that. And apparently officers did come out and started just saying my name to absolutely everybody. And they said, as well as the people who I called to report. So I feel like this is just making this city safe for people who do criminal activities instead of people who report them. And I don't think that's very safe, to be honest. And I feel like that should be checked into.
I will.
Okay.
If you want to stay behind so I can get some information from you, if you can.
I need to go. Okay, have a good day.
You too.
Excuse me, Mr. Toby, if you could please state your last name?
No.
Okay, not a problem.
thank you. Is there anyone else to my right that would like to offer public comment?
Good evening. My name is Wendy Banks. I live uptown Harrisburg. I have had several meetings with the mayor, couple council members I spoke with. I was assaulted on my property. I decided to handle it the proper way, the proper channels to the Harrisburg Police Department. They dropped the investigation, decided that they ultimately wanted to press charges on me because they saw me engaging in the altercation on my property as well. I showed the mayor the video of what happened. The mayor's words to me were, "Why didn't I blow his head off?" I told her I didn't have a gun. Nonetheless, the commissioner told her she shouldn't have made those statements. I'm here because I've been fighting for $2,000 worth of restitution. They admitted that they were wrong. They put me on the books to cut me a check. They cut me a check, no Grover, for $1,000, which was not even half. My truck was damaged, my phone was damaged, to the tune of say $4,000. I just wanted my phone repaired, which was $2,000. They told me I had to file civilly when it was their officers who made the mistake. I spoke to Commissioner Carter. He told me to get in contact with Grover. Grover was very rude to me, nasty, hung up on me, told me he didn't owe me an explanation as to why I only got $1,000, which I left here. I didn't take it. So I want to know what I need to do, who I need to speak to get the rest of my restitution. This is going on 3 years. And it's egregious to me because there were other ways that this could have been handled. But because I tried to be mature and let you guys handle it, this is the thanks I get. Again, I've spoken with council members and the mayor and the commissioner, and nothing has been done.
It's a legal dispute. If she wants to pursue legal avenues, she can pursue legal avenues. The city position is we owe her nothing. We did not damage her property. We offered to settle the matter because it was a disputed matter. We do not pay people because they knock on the door and say they didn't like what an officer did.
But that's not what it was. Your officers.
I'm not going to debate it with you, ma'am.
Amnesiac, your officer quit. So therefore, she was the main person in charge. I gave her all the restitution on my receipts and everything that was supposed to be included. They did not include it. When she left, another officer picked up the case, and they told me because the incident, they saw me hitting him on my property, that they would have to press charges against me, which I said fine. But when they repressed charges and I gave them all those receipts that were supposed to be included in to the case, they never got included in. So I don't understand, why do I have to file civilly if your officers are the ones who did not include the proper paperwork? The first officer had included it, but it did not go any further than that when she quit. So no one had picked it up. No one was going to pick it up until I had to go and do further investigation as to what was going on. So I don't understand how, if Chief Sorensen said that you guys owe me because you guys didn't handle it right, why am I being assaulted again, basically? And then you're just nasty and like you don't owe me anything. Your officers owe me. Your officers owe me the duty of filing the case right. If the case would have been filed properly, all of my receipts should have been included in the restitution. Pianka charged this man with property damage. The property that he damaged was mine. No restitution, I don't get anything, but I'm supposed to go and spend my money to file civilly? And you don't want to, I don't get an explanation. You say you cut me $1,000 and take it or leave it? Yeah, I left it because that's not even half of what was owed to me.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, your time has expired.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else to my right that would like to offer public comment? Seeing and hearing no one, anyone in the middle section?
Good evening. My name is Andrea Brown. I am homeless. So I wanted to bring to the attention about an incident that took place with me with an officer. This was with, I want to say, a few officers. And this was back, I want to say, in probably December of 2023. I was living at 1834 Regina Street at the time. And the house that I was living in was being operated unlawfully as a rooming house. I didn't know that at the time that it was being operated as such. And I was living in the house with 4 Hispanic Mexican gentlemen. And I just say that, you know, just to let you know the dynamics of the arrangement. So I was the only woman in the house. And there was a lot of drinking, a lot of loud music being played. And they were really unruly and disrespectful to me, my co-tenants at the time. And so the officers been called because they would constantly be disrespectful, and we just was getting into arguments. And the officers was more so coming at me as if, well, can you find somewhere else to move to, instead of really like resolving the problem or the issues. Wouldn't really talk to the gentleman, wouldn't talk to the landlord, like as if he needed to, step up and handle what was going on, because it was a dispute that was known to the landlord that I had brought to his attention. And so it was a few times that the officers were called and they came out, even after the gentleman claimed to have lost their keys and they were breaking into the house. Basically, the officers were telling me that they had the right to do that because they lived in the house, and so it was just really uncomfortable for me in the situation. Then there was a sexual violent, I had an SVP, sexual violent protection order against one of the tenants that was there. And when I went finally to report, because I didn't report it immediately to the cops, I did tell the landlord, who lived out of state. So basically he assured me that the tenants would be put out. That didn't happen. And so things escalated between us because I had filed the SVP against the tenant. And because a few of them were related, it's like the attacks amplified. And so when I finally did go to the officers, to the police department, they really weren't helpful to me at all. They kind of made me feel as if I was the problem, or as if I was in the wrong. I was the victim. And so I just don't understand why it has come to this. It's like the officers have really gotten relaxed about helping citizens like myself. And I just don't understand. Can some light be shined?
Ma'am, your time has expired. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the middle section that would like to offer public comment? Please.
I have 4 copies, 4 handouts.
Sir, if you want to go to the microphone, please. Thank you. I'll be over to get those for you.
I am Jeff Glatt, retired from 30 years of auditing for private industry, Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway, and lastly, the world's largest dairy cooperative based in New Zealand. I have lived at the same address apartment for 23 years, townhouse apartments, 660 Boas Street on the 11th floor. I have been concerned with my safety. The out-of-state New York landlord is uncommunicative, very private, and cost-conscious in the extreme. As the 23 years elapsed, I am concerned that the landlord may not have sufficient workforce and assets to keep the 20-story building in good repair. I learned of the Harrisburg City Bureau of Codes tenant-landlord complaint process. In November 2023, I filed a complaint. This is the complaint that I filed, which is in your packet. The inspection happened immediately after filing the complaint. The code enforcement officer contacted the property, and the property asked my permission to enter my apartment to repair windows within city codes. So far, so good. During the inspection, the enforcement officer said the condition in my apartment appeared in the city's enforcement 2018 database. I was never advised of any 2018 non-compliance. I asked if I could get a copy of the current 2023 inspection report. The enforcement officer said no. He would handle informally and verbally. He said he knew the maintenance manager at Executive House, who also served Townhouse. He said I should look at the complaint process on the reverse side of the city's complaint form, which is the process described on the back of the form. I did. In my instance, for my complaint, the process was not followed. Nothing seemed to be put in writing. Even though non-compliance existed, none of the 3 actions possible were implemented. I asked for a tracking number for my complaint. I got no reply to my emails. The back of the form indicates if I want to track the complaint disposition, I was to go to my district justice. I went to MDJ 12-2-04, the Honorable Sonia McKnight, but workers at the court knew nothing about the city process. They had never seen, at the court, they had never seen this form. And as you can see, I had them stamp the form that I showed them, dated November 24, 2023. They stamped both the front and the back of the form, but they had no knowledge of that process. Because of my experience, I wonder how many complaint citations are written annually. Since there are multiple enforcement officers, is there benefit to tracking the output of each? Are enforcement officers rotated to give a fresh set of eyes to each landlord property? Are landlords assessed penalties? The city has a clause 8-115.99 called penalties. Does the Bureau of Codes report total penalties, fines collected annually? Such reporting might indicate the effectiveness of the Bureau and help reassure tenants of city monitoring. If landlords are asked to annually attest compliance with Pennsylvania and city codes, should such
Thank you, sir. Your time has expired.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the middle section that would like to offer public comment? Seeing and hearing no one, anyone to my left?
Good afternoon. My name is Evelyn Hunt, and I live on State Street, and I do not know what I'm doing with this thing. Okay.
It turned off. Thank you.
First of all, I'd like to thank the people at Public Works. They will probably tell you I ambushed them. I went out there and gave them a list of things that I was not pleased with, and they quickly dealt with it. And one was cutting the grass at Reservoir Park. 2 was filling in the numerous potholes in Apricot Alley. And 3 was coming to look back at the tree on State Street. The problem that we have when we call the people that deal with the trees, they come and say, the tree is healthy. The tree is not the issue. The issue is the public safe? Because the trees are leaning so far forward, and in addition to that, they're pulling up the sidewalks where it's dangerous for people to walk in the evenings who aren't familiar with the area because they can't see the sidewalks or raised because the trees are so big and so old. And they came to look at the issues that I was unhappy about. The other issue I had was something that happened last week, and I talked to the chief of the fire department. The public needs to be made aware of the fact that when there is a fire, they may not drive over the water hoses. And when we have a fire on State Street, the fire hydrants are on the north side of State Street. If the fire is on the south side of State Street, which it was this time, the fire hydrant is at 19th and State. The fire was at Lynn Street, so that fire hose had to go completely across the street. And the issue we had was the police department, they couldn't get up there as fast as what should have been because we had people trying to drive over the hoses. And I don't know what community aids, I don't know if that's a correct title, what they do, or can they come and help when there's an issue with the fire department when they need some people to help control the traffic?
I would think not. I would think the police would be more responsible to be there versus the community service aides. I think that's out of their scope.
The police are much, at least I assume they're much busier.
The problem, again, if it's like after 5, community service aides they're not on the clock.
Okay, but we do need quicker responses to help deal with traffic, especially when you have issues on big streets like State Street, Cameron Street, Market Street, when they block the whole street and the public wants to get across.
Yes.
But
maybe that's a question for the Department of Traffic and Engineering, if there's any signage or assistance they might be able to provide in those instances.
Okay, the chief of the fire department told me something I didn't know, that when you sign your registration form, you are acknowledging that you know all of the things about
yes.
driving.
It's in your driver's license test, it is.
Yeah, and okay, I took that 50-some years ago. I don't remember anything in there other than you don't cross certain lines. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to offer public comment? Thank you. We will move forward with our meeting agenda. Next, we have the approval of minutes for the legislative session that occurred on June 25th, 2024. Council members, are there any revisions to those minutes? Okay, seeing and hearing none, the minutes stand approved. Next, we have reports of committees. The first report you will hear, I will deliver on behalf of the Administration Committee on the work session that occurred on July 2nd, 2024. On Tuesday, July 2nd, 2024, the Administration Committee met to discuss 2 resolutions. Resolution 42 of 2024, a resolution appointing Mr. Joel Siders to serve on the Coordinating Committee and the Technical Committee of the Harrisburg Area Transportation Study, or more commonly referred to as HATS. Resolution 43 of 2024, a resolution appointing Mr. Todd Webb to serve on the Coordinating Committee and as an alternate member to the Technical Committee of the Harrisburg Area Transportation Study, or HATS. Mr. Siders and Mr. Webb were present on behalf of the administration. Mr. Siders and Mr. Webb both introduced themselves. Mr. Siders is the new city engineer. His background includes bridge design, construction, and building design. Mr. Webb serves as a project manager within the Department of Engineering. Council members asked the following questions related to impact and any potential conflicts of interest. Mr. Sider's goal is to direct more federal funds to the city of Harrisburg. Mr. Webb's goal is to find better opportunities to improve public safety. There are no known conflicts of interest. I encourage my colleagues to support Resolution 42 of 2024 and Resolution 43 of 2024 to ensure the city of Harrisburg has a greater active membership serving on the coordinating committee and the technical committee of the Harrisburg Area Transportation Study. This concludes the report of the Administration Committee. The next report you will hear will be delivered by Chair Davis, our Building and Housing Committee Chair, on the work session of July 2nd, 2024.
Thank you, President Bowers. Good evening, everyone. On July 2nd, 2024, during the work session, the Building and Housing Department met to discuss and answer questions in regards to the City of Harrisburg's Annual Action Plan. In attendance was Director Gloria Martin Roberts, Mr. Jason Graves, the Director of Economic Development, and Ms. Tamika Moore. Council members had the opportunity to ask questions. A few questions asked were how much money remains in the ESG funding account, who can apply for the application workshop being held on July 23rd, 2024, are new nonprofits encouraged to apply for funding? How are the services ESG shared with the community in partnership to support the unhoused population? And where are we in terms of the CDBG ESG funds for 2022? Mr. Neil Grover suggests that council members meet and select a date by the end of July, early August, prior to the deadline for public comment regarding the annual action plan. This is the end of my report, and I will refer this to the next legislative session. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Davis. We have two ordinances for first reading, Bill 4 of 2024 and Bill 5 of 2024. Mr. Parker, could you please read both bills into the record?
Yes. Bill 4 of 2024. An ordinance delegating authority to the Secretary of Transportation, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Department of Transportation, to file with the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission as may be required for and on behalf of the City of Harrisburg, an application for the construction/reconstruction of the 17th Street Bridge crossing over railroad property and for the appropriation of necessary rights of way. Bill 5 of 2024, an ordinance delegating authority to the Secretary of Transportation, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Department of Transportation, to file with the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission as may be required for and on behalf of the City of Harrisburg, an application for the construction/reconstruction of the McClay Street Bridge crossing over railroad property and for the appropriation of any necessary rights of way.
Thank you. Bill 4 of 2024 and Bill 5 of 2024 will both move to the Administration Committee. We do not have any ordinances for amendment or ordinances for final passage. We will move to resolutions. The first resolution for consideration this evening is Resolution 39 of 2024. Mr. Parker, could you please read it into the record?
Yes, Resolution 39 of 2024. A resolution to consider the application for a certificate of appropriateness to demolish the property and expand the surface lot located at 1511 North Front Street, Harrisburg, PA, which the City of Harrisburg's Historical Architectural Review Board recommends be denied.
Thank you. Council members, are there any questions, comments, or concerns related to Resolution 39 of 2024?
Yes, I have a few questions.
I will entertain a motion to suspend the rules for further discussion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. If you gentlemen wouldn't mind using the microphone and introducing yourselves before we begin questions.
Good evening. My name is Adam DeBernardis. I'm an attorney with McNeese, Wallace, and Nurek, and I'm here on behalf of the applicant.
Thank you.
Adam Kerr on behalf of EI Associates and the owner 1515 North Front Street LLC.
Sean Fitzsimmons with Landmark Commercial Realty. I represent the landlord on for his leasing and sales of his properties.
Thank you. Mr. Knight?
And Jeffrey Knight, Planning Director.
Thank you. Councilman Jones?
Yes, how you guys doing?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Good, good, good. Took some time and read the letter. I guess you're the attorney that submitted it?
That's correct. So my colleague Esh McCombie was here before you last month. I'm here filling in. He's actually on a family vacation this week.
Okay. Yeah, so I was reading through this, and as you guys came before council before, we asked that the owners would actually try to find alternate solutions rather than knocking the building down. And I see that you guys have explored, but I want to ask, how did you explore some of these suggestions? Did you actually go out and talk to people in the community and see if someone else can rent the space from you guys or anything like that?
So to start, the property has been vacant for now approaching 2 years. It has been up for lease, and they have been unable to secure a tenant. As you already mentioned from the last council meeting, we went and explored some additional options that the council had requested. Now, some of the things would require specific designs to determine the costs and whatnot, and those were all outlined in the letter.
Yeah, I saw that. They weren't actual numbers. They were just, you looked at other projects and compared and used those numbers in that, correct?
Correct. So in order to get a specific cost scenario, we'd actually have to have an architectural design for what we're going to build and put together in order to figure out what the actual cost would be. So we did comparisons based on existing projects.
Okay. So, and all's all, just reading your letter, but I want to just have this on record. So from this, and you guys seem to have not found another alternative. So what is your suggestion? What is your request now to knock it down still?
So this request is for the certificate of appropriateness. The overall project requires the demolition of the building to address several nonconformities, which would allow for additional parking on that larger property, which would be consolidated. And a medical facility will be the tenant for the remaining building there at 1515.
Okay. And for the record, Mr. Knight, if you don't mind, your original stance on why this building should not be torn down.
Well, the Planning Bureau's original stance was a recommendation of denial, and that was upheld by the Architectural Review Board during their meeting. After reviewing the documentation and speaking informally with board members, our stance has not changed.
Okay. That's all the questions that I have. I don't know if my colleagues have any other questions.
I'll just inquire, Councilman Rodriguez, any follow-up questions?
No questions for me. Thank you.
Vice President Green, any follow-up questions?
No, I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Davis, any follow-up questions?
No. Thank you for providing the information that council asked.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Daniels, any follow-up questions? Thank you.
President Bowers. I will say this to you guys too, that for me, I have to go with the recommendation of Mr. Knight and these guys, because I didn't really see any other attempts to try to bring some other type of business to this place. And again, I believe I can speak for myself. I'll speak for myself on this, but knocking down a building here in the city and just, and I understand, again, the business aspect of this, but just knocking down a building and not putting anything back is something I don't think our city needs at this time. We really need either business or some living space for people, a lot of things that are happening in the city of Harrisburg. So for me, I just wanted to be able to let you know why I'll be voting no.
Understood, Councilman. And if I could just follow up to that to say, the goal here is to be able to use that property. They both remain vacant and have been vacant for approaching 2 years. This is a solution in order to make use of that property, to also improve the look of Front Street, and also provide a very important need to the community in that area, but with that medical group.
I agree with that. However, there is, if you're going to beautify the area, that's one thing. But again, if you can't find anyone to use the space, as I see in your documents, you say the property is worth $350,000. It may be time to just move on, cash out.
Yeah, the issue there is that second floor has 7-foot ceilings, so the usability of it is almost impossible.
I mean, if you guys, excuse me if I can speak, if you guys did look at some of the comps that we have here and compared to them, and you've looked at some of the
You have a lot of them.
Well, that's my job, right? You guys ask for them, we provide them. But if you looked at some of the costs associated with trying to get that building up to whatever it may be, whether it be, apartments or anything along those lines, I think you could see it's the cost outweighs the comps. And in saying that, I don't know if anyone would make the decision to try to rehab a building that they're going to lose money on at the end of the day.
I get it. That's the business. And I've seen it, turning it into a living space. I think you guys would recoup in about 15 years, right?
Yeah, based on the calculation with no additional cost expenses, but just even recoup that initial investment would take about 15 years.
And that doesn't include the taxes and everything else you're paying in that 15-year span. Any type of upkeep on the property, if that was a living space, the landlord would be responsible to keep up with, obviously, with all the utilities and keep up with everything there and maintenance on all the HVAC and everything else that goes along with that. So, I mean, your expenses definitely outweigh.
And I get that. And again, I just have to share with you guys again. I just can't approve. Me personally can't approve of knocking this building down and making it into a parking lot. And I understand the business aspect of it. You guys are just in a tough spot with this one, in my opinion.
Thank you for sharing, Councilman.
Councilman Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us this evening. When you had mentioned the 2-year mark a few times, so I was just curious on what were your, approaches on promotion or advertising for the unit to try to get someone in the building?
Well, we have it marketed at Landmark Commercial Realty, and we have multiple properties up and down Front Street. I think you guys have probably seen our signs quite a bit. We are trying to be one of the premier commercial real estate brokers in the market. So, he engaged us to help him with that. We put him on LoopNet. We've Prexy, CoStar, all of the online platforms.
They've been out
We've
there.
cold called. We've done everything possible.
Okay.
To try to get these buildings filled, but
it's just a tough call.
Well, it's a tough call. The parking is an issue, and having the building, the second-story building, the 2-story building there, with really no use as is, is also a problem. I mean, I take people through. I show 1515 regularly. It always becomes an issue because we have the building next door at 1511, and we don't have an answer for it.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Any other final questions or comments?
One more thing. I think it's important to think about this too. I mean, as a building owner, you're going to make your profits are under roof. This isn't because we want to tear the building down. It's because it's a last resort in what we've been looking at and what we've investigated and everything, and all our efforts. You make more money under roof than you do in a parking lot. Absolutely, no doubt. It's just to the point where that roof can't make us any more money.
And what it also does for the city is take away tax money when you do that.
Well, if the other building sits vacant, you're taking away tax money also.
I mean, losing a building versus one sitting, someone will eventually pick it up. Again, I get it. I manage 10,000 square feet right down the street here on 2nd Street, 30 offices, 15 off-street parking, and can't get anyone to go in there. Just not this is a different era after COVID, man.
Well, we have had success renting up and down Front Street and some of the other properties. The major things we're running into is the parking. If you guys have looked in that lot or been to that lot, you understand. And if you were to walk through that building, you'd understand what I'm talking about also. It's not something that we want to do. It's something that we think is a necessity to keep a property viable.
I would like to reiterate that the number of parking spaces within this block will not change as a part of this. There are currently 19 spaces because of the spaces that lost due to the configuration and the connection point to the neighboring property at 1500 North 2nd Street, where they will lose 3 additional properties, also owned by the same entity. There is going to be no net increase in parking spaces.
And if that property is actually not owned by the same entity, one of the owners does have a stake in that property, but it is not the same entity. And the parking, while we may only net 3 spaces,
I would just clarify that the parking is being increased to 22 spaces, but the size is being increased to comply with the required size by the Harrisburg codes. Currently, they do not comply. And there are even parking spots that move too far to the west that extend off of the properties, and this would clean that up and also add an additional access to the east away from the property.
I would also like to clarify that the zoning code does not require these spaces to change. They are considered legally non-conforming spaces because they exist. They predate the current zoning regulations. The city is not requiring them to change the spaces.
That is correct. Just cleans up the nonconformity. That's all.
what it also does is create a much better flow in the parking lot, because while we have those spaces, a lot of them, if I park my truck in one of those spaces there, one of the ones on the right of me or the left of me is not usable. You can't, the flow is not there. There's just, if you stood in that parking lot, you'd understand exactly what we're talking about. And if you saw the parking lot with 5 or 6 cars in it, supposing to have 15 plus spaces, you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to resume our legislative session. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. We have before us Resolution 39 of 2024. Mr. Parker, could you read it one more time, please?
Yes, Resolution 39 of 2024. A resolution to consider the application for a certificate of appropriateness to demolish the property and expand the surface lot located at 1511 North Front Street, Harrisburg, PA, which the City of Harrisburg's Historical Architectural Review Board recommends be denied.
Thank you. Council members, are there any final questions, comments, or concerns related to Resolution 39 of 2024?
Madam President?
Yes.
Because of the nature of the resolution and it's how it's structured, this is not a normal yay or nay, because the resolution is to consider. So in the motion, it has to basically be a motion to grant certificate of appropriateness, because it's got to be a positive motion. And if the answer is nay, that's the answer. So that would be the approach. That would be a motion to grant the certificate. And if the answer is no, then
It's still the same results, though, right?
The decision is the same as the board.
Got you.
Yeah, but it's just the way they structure under our ordinance.
Got you.
So.
Thank you. So, I move to grant the certificate of appropriateness.
I'll second.
Mr. Parker, can you please call the roll?
Yes. Ms. Daniels?
No.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Nay.
Mr. Rodriguez,
No.
Ms. Bowers.
No.
The motion to grant the certificate of appropriateness has been denied 4 nays to, I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 nays to 2 yays.
Thank you. Next, we have Resolution 42 of 2024. Mr. Parker, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 42 of 2024. A resolution appointing Mr. Joel Siders to serve on the Coordinating Committee and the Technical Committee of the Harrisburg Area Transportation Study, otherwise known as HATS.
Thank you. Council members, are there any questions, comments, or concerns related to Resolution 42 of 2024? Seeing and hearing none, Mr. Parker, could you please call the vote?
Yes. Ms. Daniels.
Yes.
Ms. Davis.
Yes.
Ms. Green.
Yes.
Mr. Jones.
Yay.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
And Ms. Bowers.
Yes.
Resolution 42 of 2024 passes unanimously with a vote of 6 yeas to 0 nays.
Thank you. Next, we have Resolution 43 of 2024. Mr. Parker, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 43 of 2024, a resolution approving Mr. Todd Webb to serve on the Coordinating Committee and as an alternate member to the Technical Committee of the Harrisburg Area Transportation Study, otherwise known as HATS.
Thank you. Council members, are there any questions, comments, or concerns related to Resolution 43 of 2024? Seeing and hearing none, Mr. Parker, could you please call the vote?
Ms. Daniels.
Yes.
Ms. Davis.
Yes.
Ms. Green.
Yes.
Mr. Jones.
Yay.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Bowers.
Yes.
Resolution 43 of 2024 also passes unanimously with a vote of 6 yeas to 0 nays.
Thank you. Next, we have Resolution 44 of 2024. Mr. Parker, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 44 of 2024, a resolution appointing Ms. Elaine Barber to serve on the Board of Directors of Capital Region Water, a municipal authority.
Thank you. Resolution 44 of 2024 will move to the Administration Committee. Next, we have Resolution 45 of 2024. Mr. Parker, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 45 of 2024, a resolution to recognize Reservoir Drive in the city of Harrisburg as Destry E. Mangus Way.
Thank you. Council members, I will entertain a motion to suspend the rules for discussion.
Move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. We are joined by Mr. Mangus, if you wouldn't mind.
Step into the podium.
Please.
Yes.
Yes, please. I'm going to read the resolution, but know that we find it not robbery to give people their flowers. So please indulge me for just a few minutes. This is Resolution 45 of 2024, a resolution to recognize Reservoir Drive in the city of Harrisburg as Destry E. Mangus Way. Whereas Destry E. Mangus is affectionately known as Des in the city of Harrisburg community, and whereas Des is a loving son and a proud father of his 2 adult children, Will and Destiny, and whereas Des Mangus is a product of the Harrisburg School District and is a member of the Harrisburg High School class of 1974. He attended Imperial Valley Community College and Chadron State College after graduation. And whereas he has worked for the State House of Representatives as the Chief Sergeant at Arms and the Harrisburg School District as a special education paraprofessional and coach. And whereas Des has served as a volunteer in the Harrisburg community for more than 40 years. During the early 1980s through the 1990s, Des eagerly served the Central Allison Hill community. He spearheaded a basketball program called UGMA and the Hard to Guard youth development program in 1997, which both continue to impact youth in and out of the Harrisburg community. And whereas while employed with the Harrisburg School District, Des volunteered his time selflessly without ever thinking of a stipend. He developed meaningful programs for students to participate in, including the Models of Harrisburg and Men in Black programs on the John Harris campus. And whereas in 2011, he joined the ranks of the Major League Baseball Youth Program, reviving baseball in the inner city, RBI, and continues to serve as one of the Harrisburg Girls RBI program coaches. And whereas throughout a 40-year time span, Des has voluntarily coached football, basketball, track and field, girls tennis, and girls softball at his beloved alma mater, Harrisburg High School. And whereas Destry E. Mangus, affectionately known as Des, continues to make an impact on the lives of students in the Harrisburg community at large, now therefore be it, and it is hereby resolved, that the Council of the City of Harrisburg, that Reservoir Drive in the City of Harrisburg be recognized as Destry E. Mangus Way.
Thank you. Thank y'all. I really appreciate that. This is kind of emotional a little bit, but it's been a long journey, I tell you. First of all, I like to give thanks to my mother. She's still living, 91 years old. She raised me. She was my mom and my dad. So, and why I'm saying that is because my son over here, Anthony Chase, they call him Will, and he's with his son, Anthony Chase Jr. He was on that journey with me. When I went to college, I went to the junior college and I went to the four-year school in Nebraska. And what happened was, when I came home from the college in Nebraska, I got Will's mother pregnant, and when she was pregnant, I didn't want to leave because I didn't want to be a deadbeat father, because that was part of my journey, because my dad was never around. So I didn't finish college. But my proudest moment is when my son finished college, when I got to watch him graduate. To this day, that's my proudest moment. So I'm just like, and another thing, Will was with me through the whole journey of Reservoir Park in the 80s and the 90s. I drug him up there with me when he was 5 years old, all the way up until he played basketball. So that journey, and Lamont's part of that journey. Michi Walker back here, he's part of that journey. And Brian Majors, definitely. So, and I'm gonna talk about your councilman here too, Asha. Your ex-councilman who mentored me, Sherman Cunningham. So I mean, it's like everybody, you know. I mean, I could name people forever and ever and ever, and you guys helped put my face up on Reservoir Park, and really, I shouldn't have been the first one
his face should be up there, but I'm just glad y'all giving me flowers while I'm alive. A lot of people has passed, and I mean, y'all guys give them flowers, they pass, but I'm here living, and I really appreciate it. I'm blessed on that end, and y'all just don't know how happy y'all made me, my family, and all the other people that I helped in the 80s and the 90s, 2000s. I mean, it's like it's like a big family.
Yes, you are beyond deserving, and we're excited that you are alive and well to really cherish this moment.
Yes.
I'd first like to say this is a collaboration between the city and city council, as all of our ceremonial street namings are. The Department of Traffic and Engineering that I mentioned earlier will develop the signs. So we'll have signs, and I'll allow Councilman Jones to share more information on the date and the time of when the ceremony will occur. But I did want to note that and thank Traffic and Engineering for their assistance. But congratulations, and I'll open the floor to my colleagues to continue showering you with some love, if that's okay. Councilman Jones.
Thank you, President Bowers. Coach, man, this is well deserved for you. I can't stress enough how you helped me, even though I still ended up going down a different path. But the lessons were still there. They were instilled. The seed was planted. I just had to receive some water and sunlight and allow that seed to grow. You're still doing it today with the children in the community. You work with my children. And I just, man, it's your time. And I'm glad that your mother is still here to see that. And you and I talk a lot, but this is legacy. This is something that's going to last, because this is something that you've made impacts on a lot of people's lives, and that should stick around. And this is why we definitely wanted to push for something like this. So to also further commemorate that, we will be holding the first annual Des Mangus Classic, a 2-day event at Reservoir Park on August 10th and 11th. And I believe we will also be rededicating the mural of your face on the basketball court, courtesy of City Council. They're going to fund that. And the sign will be unveiled that day. So today just marks that it's official, it's going to happen, and we love you, man. And congratulations.
Yep. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Councilman Rodriguez.
Coach, I'm just happy to bring another W to the Cougar family. It's prideful to be from it and see the roots grow and just know that not only we know where our past is, but we know where the future's going. And I can't wait to set my GPS to Destry E. Mangus Way. Okay. So congratulations, Kate.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Vice President Green.
Thank you, President Bowers. Coach Des.
Yes.
The unofficial official photographer of the city as well. I still got my best prom pictures from you.
Yes.
I remember the first time I met you officially. I walked into Marshall Gymnasium for softball tryouts. I was so nervous. I had never seen a softball. I only played baseball. But when you get to high school, girls don't play baseball, they play softball.
Right.
And I just remember the support that you gave everybody. It was so many young ladies in there that had never played sports in their life. But you just made everybody feel comfortable and loved and let them know that, we are a family. Win, lose, or draw. Harrisburg wasn't expected to win. But you gave us that motivation and let us know that just because other people don't expect you to win doesn't mean you can't win. Right. And we pulled out some wins that year, or yes, all 4 years I was there. We pulled out some wins.
I remember.
And so I appreciate you. I appreciate the love and support that you give to our community, to our children, and just instilling that power of belief and letting people know you can do whatever you want. And there are all sorts of opportunities in the city just to keep us out of trouble, give us things to do, and just be involved in a positive way. So I appreciate that. We need more people like you. And I know you've created a lot more people like you from the work and the impact that you've done throughout your life. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Davis.
Thank you, President Bowers. Congratulations, Mr. Mangus.
Uh-huh.
I don't know you, although I am a graduate of Harrisburg High too, but
Right.
I'm proud to be amongst the council members today to honor you and your family.
Uh-huh.
And thank you for the legacy that you're leaving to your children's children.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see the mural that's going to be up in the park for a remembrance for us all to remember. Now, I have one question. Are you related to Andre?
Yes.
Oh,
Is that the Andre from
Andre
Stilton?
Mangus.
Is that the one from Stilton? Or
I didn't
one
know there
from-
were two.
Yeah, there's two of them. There's two of them. One's my brother and one
He's a vet. He's a
cousin.
veteran.
Huh?
He's a veteran.
Oh, my brother then.
He is?
Yeah.
He is a veteran
Okay.
of the United States Army?
Yep.
You look like
No,
him. That's
no,
why I'm asking. You guys look alike.
Yeah, he was in the Marines.
Oh, it was the Marines.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, thank you
Okay.
for your service.
Okay, thank you.
And
Appreciate it.
I can't thank you enough because we do need more like you. And we don't hear enough of the good things that people are doing in our communities when we know there's a whole hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of success stories and young people doing great things. So I'm happy to be here today and to celebrate you, and congratulations again.
Thank you. Can I comment on what you just said?
Sure.
There are many more, but it's just, like for me, it's taken over 45 years to get there, so there's guys out there that are doing real good things. There's people they just don't know. I mean, they do it because they want to do it. I mean, they don't look for no reward, but they're out there.
Right, they are out there, but we just don't hear enough about them. And there are some, as you've mentioned, that have passed on who have not had an opportunity to receive their flowers. One that I'm thinking of is Charles Chisholm.
Yes.
Coach Chiz,
Right.
Packers.
Greg Campbell was another.
Mm-hmm.
His face, his mural is up on Fort Emerald playground basketball court. But he had passed, and then that's when they did it. So that's why I feel real blessed that y'all are doing this, while I'm here.
And we should do it more often.
Yes.
But again, thank you again for your service.
Right.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Councilwoman Daniels.
Just thank you for your work and congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe all this service started on Horner Street.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you got that right.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to your family and mentees that are present today. Councilman Jones?
Yeah, one more thing. For this event, too, I want to make sure that we're going to be putting this information out very shortly here. But there's going to be a lot of fun for the youth in the city. This is going to be 2 days of great fun for our city, and hopefully everybody can come out and enjoy these festivities and help us celebrate Coach Des. And we'll probably write some rhymes for him.
I will entertain a motion to resume our legislative session.
Second.
Thank you. So we have before us Resolution 45 of 2024. Mr. Parker, could you please read it one more time?
Happily. Resolution 45 of 2024. A resolution to recognize the Reservoir Drive in the city of Harrisburg as Destry E. Mangus Way.
Thank you. Council members, are there any final questions, comments, or concerns related to Resolution 45 of 2024? Seeing and hearing none, Mr. Parker, can you please call the vote?
Ms. Daniels.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Ms. Daniels.
Yes.
Ms. Davis.
Yes.
Ms. Green.
A resounding yes.
Mr. Jones.
Yay.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Bowers.
Yes.
And deservedly so. Resolution 45 of 2024 passes unanimously with a vote of 6 yeas to 0 nays.
Thank you. We have 2 more resolutions. We're almost finished, everyone. Resolution 46 of 2024. Mr. Parker, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 46 of 2024. A resolution authorizing the City of Harrisburg to participate in the Dauphin County Bridge Bundling Program to replace the bridge known as HBG-19 and negotiate and enter into an intermunicipal cost-sharing agreement in furtherance of such.
Thank you. Resolution 46 of 2024 will move to the Budget and Finance Committee. Our final resolution for consideration this evening is Resolution 47 of 2024. Mr. Parker, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 47 of 2024. A resolution authorizing the City of Harrisburg to negotiate and enter into a professional services agreement with Civitas, LLC, for the purpose of providing professional services to the city's Department of Building, Housing, and Development, including but not limited to technical assistance and general consulting services for general technical assistance, consolidated plan development, analysis of fair housing choice impediments, and environmental review for emergency demolition.
Thank you. Resolution 47 of 2024 will move to the Building and Housing Committee. Is there any old business, council members?
Yes, I need an update on what's happening with the CDBG funds for 2022.
We are hosting an executive session to discuss it tomorrow,
Okay.
along with other legal matters.
And were there other dates? Do you know? Let's see, no one is here from. Any additional dates for workshops? I don't know if you would know this, Neil.
For the upcoming one,
Yeah.
I do not know that.
Okay.
I would hope it's on the website at this point, but
I know the current date, the 23rd, is being advertised, but I didn't see anything else.
Additional ones either?
I believe that there was a commitment from the director to add more dates last week.
Yeah, and she was going to find out the following day, but I haven't received any emails or.
I will follow up.
Please, thank you. And that's it for me.
Thank you. Any new business, council members? I just have some scheduling updates for everyone's reference. Please note, as I mentioned, Harrisburg City Council will host an executive session tomorrow, Wednesday, July 10th, 2024, to discuss legal matters. Harrisburg City Council will host a special legislative session on Tuesday, July 30th, 2024, to vote on Resolution 41 of 2024, a resolution approving the 2024 annual action plan for the City of Harrisburg for the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, Home Investment Partnerships, or HOME, and Emergency Solutions Grant Program. Finally, Harrisburg City Council will begin our summer break following tonight's meeting, so we won't meet until the 30th for the special legislative session, and then we will not meet again until nearing the end of August. So I just wanted to remind everyone of our break. If there's no other new business, the time is 7:23 p.m. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. We stand adjourned.